In this ultimate character guide to the Throne of Glass series, we break down the fiercest warriors, deadliest assassins, and the unforgettable allies who shaped the fate of a kingdom. Let's begin. She was born Aedion Ashryver Galathynius, heir to the throne of Terrasen, but the world first met her as Celaena Sardothian, the notorious assassin. Raised in darkness after witnessing her family's brutal murder during Adarlan's conquest, she was found by Arobin Hamel and trained within the deadly walls of the Assassin's Keep. Beauty became her mask. Blades, her language. From the slave pits of Endovier to the glass castles of kings, Aelin's journey is one of survival, identity, and rebellion. Fire runs in her veins. Rowan Whitethorn enters the saga as a hardened fae warrior scarred by centuries of loss, bound by brutal duty. He is merciless, cold, and driven by loyalty to his Queen Maeve. But beneath that steel exterior lies a storm of grief and ancient pain. As Aelin challenges him, he begins to thaw. What begins as mentorship transforms into fierce companionship and eventually a bond forged in fire and loyalty. Rowan finds not only purpose in Aelin, but love, becoming her protector, her equal, and her king consort. Aedion Ashryver, general of Adarlan's forces and the Wolf of the North. To his enemies, he is ruthless. To his kingdom, he is a ghost of rebellion. But behind the soldier's mask is a man who has bled in silence for Terrasen's return. Aedion is a half-fae warrior, carrying Terrasen's pride and his queen's memory like a shield. Every battle he fights is not for glory. Fiercely loyal and endlessly strategic, Aedion is the sword in Aelin's Shadowland, the roar of a homeland refusing to die. Dorian Havilliard, the crown prince of Adarlan, was born into power but caged by it. Raised by a tyrant king, Dorian hides behind charm, books, and the elegance of a royal court. Yet within him brews a secret, wild, dangerous magic, a gift long thought extinct. Dorian's journey is one of awakening, of power, of pain, and of self. Chaol Westfall was once the unwavering captain of the guard, disciplined, loyal, and torn between duty and heart. Haunted by guilt and paralyzed by the cost of loyalty, Chaol's journey takes him to the brink physically and emotionally. But it is through injury, healing, and the unwavering compassion of Irene Towers that he rebuilds. From commander to broken warrior to Lord of Anyel, Chaol learns to lead not through control, but through grace. Nehemia Ytger, Princess of Aelwe, arrives as a diplomat, but beneath her royal titles is a revolutionary mind. Intelligent, strategic, and driven by love for her enslaved people, Nehemia carries a burden few understand. Her presence is grace itself, yet her purpose burns with quiet rebellion. Every word she speaks is chosen, every silence, a strike. Once a courtesan in the seediest corners of Rifthold, Lysandra spent her youth surviving a world built to break women. Cunning and sharp-tongued, she was forged in cruelty, but she emerges from it stronger than steel. Lysandra's Sequither shape-shifting gift becomes one of Terrasen's greatest weapons. Whether charging into battle as a ghost leopard or impersonating a queen to save a kingdom, Lysandra is proof that true nobility has nothing to do with blood and everything to do with heart. Elide Lochan was a forgotten girl in a crumbling tower, imprisoned by her uncle for the crime of survival. Crippled, mistreated, and overlooked until she escapes Morath with nothing but wit and determination. Elide's strength lies not in magic, but in resilience and mind. With every mile she walks and every lie she weaves, she inches closer to freedom and to the war she's destined to influence. Manon Blackbeak, wing leader of the 13, an iron-teeth witch raised on blood and blade. She begins the story as a ruthless killer, trained to obey her matron's every command. Manon's arc explodes into one of the most powerful in the series. She learns mercy. She learns truth. She dares to hope for a world that values choice over obedience. Lorcan Salvaterre was born to destroy. As one of Maeve's most brutal demi-fae warriors, he has spent centuries drowning kingdoms in blood and shadows, cold, relentless, and feared across continents. But Elide changes everything. He loses what he thought was power, and gains something far greater: the strength to protect instead of punish, to love instead of serve. These are the warriors, rulers, rebels, and survivors of the Throne of Glass saga, each with a story forged in fire, blood, and resilience. And together, they change the course of history. Long live Terrasen,